Now, Washington Mornings on the Mall. 105.9 FM. And AM 630. WMAL.
7:07 on WMAL, where Washington comes to talk. Want to mention that we got the road show going on tomorrow. We're going back to where it all started, the Metro 29 Diner in Arlington. I would appreciate it if you'd come out and join us. It's at 4711 Lee Highway in Arlington. Our last foray into the Commonwealth of Virginia before the election. So come out, have some pancakes, have some politics. We'll stick a microphone in your face. Love to see you out there tomorrow morning. Brian Wilson joined by Larry O'Connor from Breitbart TV. And on the line right now is Steven Portnoy of ABC News, who is in New Jersey. And we thought it'd be a good thing to have him sort of give us a lay of the land as to what he's seeing there. Steven, where are you? And describe how things are there in New Jersey this morning.
Good morning, Brian, from Point Pleasant Beach, which is a popular shore town on the northern side, I guess, of the Jersey Shore. This is a place where I used to come when I was in high school here in New Jersey. There's a large amusement park on the boardwalk. That largely escaped unscathed, but most of the boardwalk here in Point Pleasant is gone now. Much further down the shore, it's a whole different story. In Seaside Heights, that's where that enormous roller coaster is now in the water, and Governor Christie sees that as a personal loss. And, of course, that entire shore town was decimated, washed over, houses in the middle of the highway. And the lingering threat is the gas explosions that are occurring with these ruptured lines from the houses that were ripped from their foundations.
Stephen, we see the governor it's really wearing his heart on his sleeve and emotionally comforting so many victims of this storm. And you speak a little bit, you say you're from New Jersey. I mean, talk a little bit about how New Jersey residents hold the shore in such high regard. I mean, it really is part of the culture, part of the life. It's something you're so proud of, right?
That's absolutely right, Larry. Everything from the Atlantic City boardwalk to, some of the lyrics and the upbringing of Bruce Springsteen. I mean, think about it, his upbringing in Asbury Park, and it's so much part of the culture of this state. And it's not gone. Governor Christie says that it will be rebuilt. It just won't be the same. It'll be different. I mean, not only is it, this iconic culture. Think about Boardwalk Empire and all the things that people think of when they think of the Jersey Shore, and even Snooki. I mean, it's part of our Americana. But, to take all that away, it'll be rebuilt in some fashion, just won't be the same. You have a massive population that will want to go to the shore. It's very expensive property that needs to be rebuilt, and it'll come back. It just won't be the same. I mean, some of this stuff goes back to the late 1800s, early 1900s, and it's very much a part of modern American northeastern culture.
I guess there's still widespread millions of people without electricity, and when you don't have electricity, a whole myriad of problems follow. I mean, you can't run the sewage treatment and the water treatment plants, and you can't get money out of the credit card machine, and then, of course, you can't get gasoline for your car.
And aside from all that, and those are major problems, and we're hearing reports of enormous gas lines on the New Jersey Turnpike, something akin to what they saw in the oil embargo days in the 1970s. But aside from all of that, it's really kind of cold here. It's probably in the low 40s this morning, and here it's not much warmer where you guys are in D.C. But it's dark and cold, and it's not easy to get to sleep if you don't like sleeping in the cold, and all those things people are coming to grips with. 2 million customers here in the state of New Jersey are still without electricity.
Yeah, and we just take it for granted, and it's unfortunately something like this has to show how vital all of these things are. I'm just glad that you have a phone so you can reach us.
So how are
believe it or not, guys, I'll just quickly tell you that we have to use a satellite dish to get out sometimes.
Wow.
Sometimes it's still difficult. Even at this early hour, the cell phone networks are overloaded. If there's anyone with the Federal Communications Commission who happens to be listening to this broadcast, they're all well aware of the difficulties that folks here have faced. For the first couple of days, we couldn't even send text messages from some of our phones. That's how difficult it was here.
I understand that some people are actually reporting that they're going through phone and texting withdrawal because their phones aren't working. All right, so the president was there yesterday. Give me your sense of how that went.
Well, he embraced Governor Christie, and they talked about their extraordinary partnership. You'd never remember, or you'll certainly remember, but it's hard to place the fact that this is the same Governor Christie who was so critical in Tampa of the president, and just a couple of weeks ago on the campaign trail for Mitt Romney said that Mr. Obama blindly walks around the White House looking for a clue. Well, yesterday in Atlantic City, Governor Christie said he couldn't thank the president enough for personal concern, compassion, said that the president leaped into action and has been outstanding, deserves great credit, all these things. And President Obama returned the favor, thanked Governor Christie for extraordinary leadership.
It is the least of their problems, and Governor Christie has said as such. But one has to wonder how you're going to conduct a statewide election in just a few days. It is
an important question, and I'm not sure that we have all the answers. From my understanding of the election laws here in the state, it's each county clerk's responsibility to effect elections. Many parts of the state are unscathed, but 2 million customers without electricity. Obviously, restoring power to polling places is said to be a priority, so that will be an essential. I understand that most of the state is now on electric voting machines. Most of them apparently have some kind of battery backup, but with the electricity out in the state for several days now, how are they charging those batteries? And how long will they last? Those are questions that I don't know if have been properly addressed, but I'm pretty sure they probably don't have enough backup paper ballots to hand every voter in the state.
And I have just one more question. What do people need there? I mean, many people want to reach out. They want to do the right thing. Is there a pressing need that you see or you hear about there on the ground?
Well, I think that most people here in New Jersey are lucky that the storm didn't pack more powerful winds. There was not a lot of structural damage, aside from what you do see on television on the coastal towns that were evacuated. There is enormous need there. A lot of those properties, I imagine, were vacation homes, were beachfront properties that were premier destinations in the summertime. I don't see a great humanitarian need. We do not have a lot of people here in the state in shelters compared to some other disasters further down south. I think that the overall need right now is for electricity to be restored, and that President Obama said is the number one priority. The second thing is they need to make sure all the rail lines between New York and New Jersey are connected so that people can get to work in New York City. That is important, too, just because of commerce and making sure that people can get back to their normal working lives. But otherwise, I think that most people here would agree that, on the whole, as devastating the loss of the Jersey Shore amusements has been and will be, on the whole, everyone is okay. And that's certainly the ethos of this place. I talk to people up and down this beach who say, look, my house is still standing. I got off easy.
Well, Stephen, one last quick question. Is there any concern about sanitation issues at this point that you've heard of? Because that's often crops up in the wake of a storm like this.
No doubt, anytime you have a loss of power, you have the loss of sewage treatment plants, and that's a concern. I know that some cities are under boil water advisories. Let's hope that the power comes back as quickly as possible, but obviously health and sanitation are major concerns, and our doctors on staff at ABC warn us to make sure that we have enough personal protection here, because there is the risk of contamination and, of course, the lingering threat of those gas explosions with the ruptured line.
Wow. Well, listen, Steven Portnoy, great work and tough duty. Stay safe there, Stephen. We appreciate you being with us this morning.
Yeah, hang in there.
Thank you, Brian.